Welcome back to the prediction show, everybody. I hope you're all well on this Wednesday. We've got some good football today. We're going to start by taking a look at these games in the Premier League. Just give a bit of an overview before jumping to France, where we're going to put together our first selection. PSG are playing at home. Big game at both ends of the table there in Ligue 1. As it is in the Premier League as well, Burnley can't officially be relegated tonight. Probably going to be at the weekend but Manchester City, they can go top of the Premier League. Plenty to come in this episode, including a new update to the BetSlip generator. Without further ado, let's get into it. So we are going to start in France. I've got a pretty nice selection for this game, it must be said. PSG, of course, massive favourites. I just want to show you a couple of new features as we go through this game, things that I've been working on during my YouTube hiatus. We are back now and we are going to be having regular videos on this channel from now until the end of the season, and then believe me, the World Cup, we are going to be covering it extensively, so make sure you are subscribed. We do have a new rankings tab where we can see PPG across the last 6. PSG are not top, and actually what we can see looking at this, if we look at goals conceded, PSG are not bottom. They are conceding goals. They've conceded 6 in the last 6. That is the same against Nantes, who they are playing tonight. It's the same for Nantes. But if we look at the table, PSG are top with a game in hand. This is one of those games. It is the game. They need to win this game because Lens are right on their tails, 62 points compared to 63. And at the bottom of the table, you can see there, if I just move out the way, it is a pretty big game for the away team in this fixture as well. They are 5 points adrift. This game would put them 2 points. They're not going to win, are they? They're not going to win, and we are not going to even put PSG on to win because there's absolutely no point. If we look at the probability model, and again, this is also something that has been added, more data points now added to our probability model. We've got the full-time result. We can see PSG absolutely firm favourites with our probability model. One thing that is brand new is that this is now open for all users. You can see the full-time results from our probability model on any game in the world. We then have double chance, half-time result, half-time, full-time, double, potentially tonight for PSG and Manchester City. We'll see when we look at Manchester City that they are absolutely firing at the moment, especially in the first half of games. They love to score early doors. Now, many markets have been added to this. We've got first half goals, both teams to score. We've got home goals, away goals. So for Nantes to score, 35%. Now, one thing that stands out to me is BTTS here, and I'm going to go against the grain, against the sort of basic psychology of humans that want BTTS to happen. I'm going to go with BTTS no. PSG do have a clean sheet in 64% of their home games this season. They have, of course, scored in every home game that they've played. We can see there Nantes have failed to score in 50% of away games. Now, BTTS no is a value bet in this game as per our model with 8% edge. Now, the next selection for this game is cards. Nantes at the bottom of the table and picking up plenty of cards this season. We can see 2.36 away from home compared to just 1.29 at home for PSG, who usually dominate the ball. We expect them to dominate this game. Across the last 10 games, it is even higher for Nantes, 5.4 cards per game away from home, over 2.5 cards in every game, over 3.5 cards in 90% of games. They've received a card in every game, over 1.5 cards in 9 of the last 10 away from home as well, and overall that drops to just 80%. But as you can see on the other side of those stat comparisons, PSG at home not carded that much. And before I show you my selection, which is 3.1 odds, we are going to use the new version of OddAlerts AI, which is now much quicker, uses more data, and also includes a follow-up option, which I will show you. So we can see here, Nantes 17th, managing just 0.86 goals per game. Their away form is winless in the last 5 games. Their last win was January 4th, so that is very good data that I did not even look at in this game because, you know, we do know about PSG and Nantes. We know about the league positions. We know that PSG are PSG. But if you use OddAlerts AI on a random fixture from Romania, you'll still get this level of insights, which you probably don't know those teams as well as you know these teams. They concede first in 73% of home games and attract a red card every 5 matches. So discipline is an issue, let's say, for Nantes, as we briefly saw in the cards section. PSG should cruise to a dominant win, likely posting 2 or more goals while keeping a clean sheet. Most likely outcome, BTTS no at 1.97. Decent odds for BTTS no. The model is predicting 59% for a clean sheet and BTTS no, and it is a value bet, as we see, 8%. So I found this on my value bets feed, which you can check out /value bets, or just head to the site. I'll link it in the description, but OddAlerts AI is on the same page, which is good. It's telling you to avoid the home win. Odds are far too short. OddAlerts AI will suggest sensible selections, and we have key stats here as well. PSG scoring first in 85% of home games, 64.29% in terms of those clean sheets. So yeah, and we see here Nantes as well, 45% of matches feature 5+ cards. Now you can ask a follow-up of OddAlerts AI. This is in beta for advanced users and season ticket holders, and we can say, what do the corner stats look like, for example? And we can hit send, and we will get a response back pretty quickly, as you see there. So PSG averaged 9.18 corners per game, Nantes 8.86, and it breaks it down for and against. First half corners evenly split, making over 10.5 at 2.15, so it has access to the odds as well. You can ask whatever you like in here. Player data is coming soon to this. As I say, it's in beta, so we're just monitoring the responses, seeing what people say, what people ask, what kind of responses people like. So we can say, maybe give me a bet with cards and corners, and let's see what it does. Bet on over 9.5 corners. This is interesting, isn't it? It has access to the referee, which is very nice. Over 9.5 corners, 1.5. Combined with both teams to receive a card. Referee Clement Turpin, very good referee, has booked both sides in 100% of his recent games, and Nantes obviously getting a lot of cards. Well, let me jump to Bet365 to show you what I am on for this one. So it's quite a simple selection here, but it does use the data as always, and of course this is a value play with the both teams to score no option. PSG to win comfortably at home, as they have not been doing recently, but this is business end of the season. I expect them to win the league still. This game in hand is obviously massive. They need to go out there, do a professional job. The unders market has been decent as well for PSG in certain games this season. It's always popped up as a value bet, and they have won a couple of games, 1-0, 2-0, or drawn a few games. So the unders market has performed well for PSG, but in this instance we're going to go with BTTS no and most cards Nantes, as the data clearly suggests. 3.1, that is our pick from Ligue 1. Let me know what you're on in the comments. Of course, it's good to be back. Let me know what you want me to cover for this weekend. And now we're going to take a quick look at the Premier League games for tonight before showing you an incredible new feature on the BetSlip generator. So Burnley against Manchester City, 19th against 2nd, second bottom against 2nd, of course, and Bournemouth against Leeds. We're going to start with Bournemouth against Leeds because I want to just praise both of these teams. If we take a look at the results tab, we can see for Bournemouth, they are unbeaten. We have to keep scrolling because they are unbeaten since the start of January. Just one defeat in 2026 for Bournemouth and Iraola, and that came against Arsenal at home, and that was it was a very late winner, I think, if I remember correctly, from Arsenal. It was the first game after Semenyo had been sold, I believe. So since they've sold Semenyo and brought in the Brazilian wonder, they have not lost a game. They're scoring plenty of goals. They have tightened up a little bit recently, but still, away win at Newcastle. Before that, an away win at Arsenal. They are absolutely superb, and they announced, of course, that Iraola will leave. I've heard concrete information that Manchester United and Real Madrid have both put a contract in front of Iraola. Let me know in the comments where you think he will be after the World Cup. I imagine he'll probably take his time to make a decision, but at least 2 major clubs have put a contract in front of him, and that is why he has announced that he is leaving, because he has done incredible work at Bournemouth. We can just take a look at the table to see that they are 8th, and there's a couple of clubs here that you just have to say well done to as well. Brighton, they are the form team in the Premier League, and they are now pushing for that 5th place spot. Can they do it? Liverpool need another win, don't they? But Brighton, fair play to them. They beat Chelsea 3-0 last night, and that is probably another club that's going to be sniffing around Iraola, because you cannot see Liam Rosenior sticking around there. The players are clearly not playing for him, given what Cucurella said, given what Enzo Fernando said in the international break. And Iraola coming in as a Spanish-speaking manager, at least, given the profile of players that they have there, makes sense. But if Real Madrid come knocking for Iraola, he's not going to turn that down. I think Manchester United will come knocking as well. They should offer him everything. Unai Emery's another manager that's going to be wanted. Jurgen Klopp has been reportedly talking with Real Madrid. It's going to be an interesting summer, managerially speaking as well. So we'll take a look at Man City. We can see that a win and positive goal difference, if they get a couple of goals, they will go top of the Premier League. What do Arsenal fans think about that? I'm not just going to praise Bournemouth here. We're also going to take a look at Leeds, because they absolutely deserve the praise. Now, they've drawn a lot of games, but what people talk about when promoted teams come up is to make your home stadium a fortress. Now, they've not necessarily done that. They haven't lost many games. They're tough to beat, end of. But what I want to focus on now is the away form in the Premier League. We can see here just 1 defeat since November away from home. That is commendable. They've been to Liverpool, they've been to Sunderland, which is a tough place to go. They've been to Everton, they've been to Chelsea, they've been to Villa, they've been to Palace, and they've been to Manchester United and picked up a win. So given that they've been to those locations and not lost, is Bournemouth a step too far? Let's see what the odds are saying. Bournemouth over evens with some bookmakers. Our probability model has them at 42%. So this is negative value. Let me know what you're on in the comments. For this one, we're actually going to do an OddAlerts AI analysis again, because I'm finding this one tough to call. And then we will put something together for the Manchester City game and this game as well. So we can see here, Bournemouth unbeaten in the last 6 home games, sit 9th, Leeds occupy 15th. Now it is suggesting unders at 2.28. You can see, given the recent results from Leeds, given certainly the tightening up recently from Bournemouth certainly I would not bet against some scoring in this game. Leeds are very tough to break down at the moment, and we can see some key stats which could point us in the direction of a bet builder here. Bournemouth goals after 70 minutes in 42% of recent games. Thank you, OddAlerts AI, for pointing that out. Leeds concedes 2.1 times more in the second half. Bournemouth 5+ cards in 45% of games. Those of you that have watched the channel quite a lot will know that when we use the football form guide and look at fouls committed last season and this season, Bournemouth are always near the top. So I think I can kind of work something out in my head. Let's take a look first at Manchester City, and then we'll put together a bet builder for both games for tonight. So Manchester City away at Burnley, you expect them to go there and get the job done, maybe even put on a show in what is the Kyle Walker derby now. No team has scored more goals across the last 10 games than Manchester City, and we have to scroll all the way down to see Burnley just behind my chair, 10 goals in the same period. No team has scored fewer in the Premier League. Let's take a look at goals expected. We can search for XG, and again, this is a new feature. This was added recently, so expected goals across the last 10, Manchester City are top, Burnley are 19th, so this is going one way, isn't it? We can look at over 2.5 goals. Man City rank 4th, Burnley 12th. You can just quickly go through here and see half-time goals, half-time wins. Manchester City just 3, same with Burnley. Now this usually is where Manchester City shine, but their home data, as we can see, is much better. They often win games by half-time at home, but away from home, just 50%. And we talked about making your home stadium a fortress. Well, Burnley simply have not done that. They have failed to score in 3 of the last 4 games. When they do score, it comes at the cost of conceding 4. When they play expansive football, they concede 2 or more goals. They've picked up 4 points at home since October. That's why they're getting relegated. That's why they're going down. Manchester City away from home, 1 defeat since November. It came at Manchester United, but at this moment in time, Man City, I think, are the form team. The players that they've got at the top end of the pitch, just incredible, really incredible. 2-0 against Arsenal, 4-0 against Liverpool, 3-0 against Chelsea, and 2-1 again in that crucial game against Arsenal. A win tonight potentially puts them top of the table, and from there on, I think it's Man City's title to lose. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. Who's going to lift the trophy? Let me take another look at some of the data points here and then move over to Bet365. Just checking out cards for Manchester City. They have received a card in all but 1 away game so far this season. So here's what I'm going to go with for these games. Let me know what you think about this video, about these selections, and don't go yet because we have an amazing feature to show you on the BetSlip generator. So Bournemouth to score in the second half and both teams to receive a card that is just under evens. You can take these as singles. It's completely up to you. You don't have to take them at all. And Man City to receive a card and score more than 1 goal in this game. I think Man City will put on a show here. Not saying it's going to be easy for them, but they could win 2-0, 2-1, 3-1 if the game gets away from Burnley. Burnley likely to start well. By starting well, I just mean not conceding in the first 5 minutes, just because they can do it. We've seen them do it at home in games this season, but towards the end of the game, they either have to try and get a goal, and I just think, given the situation, they may not be officially relegated tonight, but they are relegated. Let's be real. 3.25 for this double from tonight's Premier League games. Let me know what you think, of course, in the comments. Love to hear from you in the comments. How are you doing? I know I've been away for a couple of weeks on the channel, but we are back now. And as I say, we will be producing content like this. So if you are enjoying it, if you want to see more, hit like, subscribe, and add your predictions in the comments. And now I'm going to show you a very cool new feature on the BetSlip generator. So this is the BetSlip generator. A few new things to show you. The big one is the AI tab, where you can just type in what you want and it will give it to you. Pretty impressive. For those of you that may not have seen as well, you can now set alerts up. So let's say you have a profile on the BetSlip generator that you like. I've got one here for major competitions, which looks over the Premier League, Championship, all the competitions that I like that are sort of major competitions. And you can set it up and enable alerts so that it sends you bet slips, let's say on a Friday at 6 p.m. You can do that. It's pretty easy to set up. You just toggle, select the time, select the dates, and it will automatically send to your Telegram. Now, the big feature that I wanted to show you for this tool. So we can say, give me home wins for the next 5 days. A treble at 3s odds. We hit enter and we get back bet slips that are designed for you based on what you have just said. You can put a lot into this text box. Let's try another. We're going to say BTTS doubles 2.5 target odds this weekend. And there we go. We get games for the 24th or on the 22nd at this moment in time. And you can keep experimenting with this. It is really, really powerful stuff. And there's some default ones here that you can test out, corner bets for today. And there you go. We've got games for today. We've got games from the Denmark Superliga, 2.49. A couple of games to go over 9.5 and 8.5 corners. And remember, this is based on our probability model. So you see the model's output there. You see whether it's value or not. And you can just use this however you like now with the new AI prompt. So it's pretty good. It's still being developed. I mean, give me your feedback. What do you like about it? What works? For example, you can say games from England for the weekend. And it will go away and give you games. It's giving me doubles here. So it defaults to doubles, but you can, of course, ask it for trebles or fourfolds or whatever. That's pretty cool, isn't it? So let me know what you think about that. Link in the description if you want to test it out. That has been the return video, just to get me back into the swing of things. Wednesday, 22nd. Hope you've enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.